Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Central Victoria, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a gorgeous card here for today. It is a vellum inlay scene card and opens up and you can see the vellum there. So it's a really great effect. It's also one of those cards that if you stuck a tea light, you know, those little battery tea lights in behind, this would flicker like as though there is a fire in the background. So it's a really pretty one to do. It's using minimal supplies. We have vellum, we have thick whisper white cardstock, we have shimmery white cardstock and this gorgeous ribbon. So let's get started and I'll show you through all the supplies. I'm using the Merry Moose stamp set and I'm also using the matching punch that goes with it. Bundle these two together, you save yourself 10%, which is a really great saving. The other stamp set is Merry Christmas to All, and this is just for the sentiment of Christmas wishes. The ribbon that we're using here is the Seaside Spray metallic ribbon. It's really pretty and sparkly. Inks are the Early Espresso Crumb Cake, and that's just for our mousse. And I'm also using the Versamark ink for the sentiment here. Because that is heat embossed, we're using the silver embossing powder and the heat tool. And all this gorgeous snow effect is using the ice stamping glitter that's in the holiday catalogue. I'm also, for these trees, just using that pine tree punch. This is in the holiday catalogue as well, just to create those pine trees in the back. That's all the products that we're using. Let's bring in the kit, which is all ready to go. Now, all the measurements and supplies can be found over my blog. There is a link to that blog post in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store if you need to purchase any of your Stampin' Up supplies to make this card or to make any other card. I would so appreciate all your business. Now we have just a card base, which is thick whisper white, scored in half. I'm going to fold in half. And this is where we're starting from. I also have 2 pieces of thick whisper white. So really it is 1 full sheet of A4 thick card. And I've just cut them to, instead of scoring in half, I've cut in half. We have a piece of vellum which measures the same as the front of the card base. And lastly we have that shimmery white piece of cardstock for our sentiment, which we can cut down. So we're starting off with this card base. I'm going to bring in just a pencil and I want to create this beautiful effect that we have here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw some waves there, and also down the bottom here we're going to draw a snowbank. So just like that. I'm going to bring my scissors in and I'm just going to cut those 2 pieces off. Okay, so there we have our 2 pieces there. Now what we need to do is we need to create the same for the opposite side. So if I open the card up, because we've got the vellum in the middle, we need to cover up that other underside of the vellum. And to do that, I'm going to turn it over. We're going to bring in that other piece of the whisper white thick, and I'm going to just lay that in and trace along this card that we've already cut. That way both pieces are going to be exactly the same. I'm going to just cut them out with my scissors as well. So we have all our pieces there. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in the leftover pieces, and I'm going to just cut out or punch out my 4 trees. So this is just using up the scraps that I have there. Our 4 trees are ready to go. I'm also going to bring back in that scrap, and we're going to stamp our mousse. So let's start off with the crumb cake ink, and we're going to do the solid image first. And the outline with the early espresso. These are really easy to line up. Bring that punch in and punch that mousse out. Now we're just left off with the sentiment, so let's bring our Versamark ink in. And I've popped those 2 words onto 1 block, all ready to go. Going to ink up with the Versamark. And this piece is way bigger than I need. I'm going to stamp towards the top. And bring that silver embossing powder in. I'm going to hit that with the heat tool just to melt that powder. Now you can pop that through your trimmer again to cut off the ends, or just use your scissors to do a nice straight line there. That worked out quite well. Also just going to bring my snips in and create a banner cut on the ends. So we're going to start popping this all together. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with running some tear and tape along our top border. Just in each of those little bumps there. We're going to attach the vellum first. So bringing that piece of vellum in, going to line it up. along there, fold the card down over the top. And there we have that. So the next piece is that bottom snowbank. The snowbank on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to put a strip of tear and tape along the bottom of that vellum. I'm just going to bring in some repositional tape. Now this is just stuff that I've got from, where was it, Spotlight. I'm going to line this up with the bottom there, and that'll just stick that down just for that time being. And then I'm going to just add a little bit more tear and tape to those snowbanks there, and that way I can add my backing or the inside piece down in the right spot. So just like that. Just going to bring my bone folder in, burnish that a little bit more. There we go. So I can take this front one off that I've just popped the repositional tape down. We have this last little piece of the inside. I'm going to pop some tear and tape down on that, and then we can start popping all our pieces on. Few little snowbanks there. And by popping these on the other side, not only can you not see all that adhesive, but it just gives that extra bit of stability as well. Okay, so I'm going to temporarily put that piece back down again. And we can start looking at where we want to add all our pieces. So I have one is going to go actually underneath that snowbank. One just there. This one on the right's also going to go under the snowbank. And this one's going to go over the top. So the ones under the snowbank, I'm going to place some Tombow glue just on the bottom of those trees. Glue. You're making sure that you're not putting any glue where the vellum's going to see it. I'm going to just chop that end off that one there. Now my moose, because I'm just putting glue on the bottom of his feet, I'm going to bring some glue dots in for that one. I just found, just gave it a little bit more stability than just a little bit of the Tombow glue. So let's stick one on each of his feet or hoofs. stick him in and under. And just a little bit of glue on that side and underneath. Okay, let's peel this up. Oh, that's glued down onto that piece, but that's okay. I'm going to bring some tear and tape in and run that along. So we're just keeping it at the snowbank level. And before we go and pop all that glitter on, I also want to pop up this sentiment piece. So I'm going to bring some dimensionals in. Now I had trouble sticking this down because I went through, and when I made this card I added the glitter first off, but then when I put this down it didn't stick down too well, so I want to do that before popping all that glitter down. So I'm going to take off all those backings. Moved over just slightly. Okay. So I'm going to bring in the Tombow glue, and I'm going to use that broader edge, that other end, this one here. Now pop some glue down. I think this one's almost empty. Let's use the other one. Okay. I'm just going to move that glue all the way around the tree. You don't want to do too much at a time. Do one thing at a time. So we're going to do that one tree. Pop the glitter on. Okay, so let's move him to the side. We'll bring in our piece again, popping our glue down all over the snowbank. I think a sponge would work really well with this as well. Tapping the ends. Missing a little bit up here and on the tree. Just move that to the side for a minute. Let's pop all this glitter back in my tray. Certainly got a lot of glue on my fingers at the moment. Now before we pop that larger piece down, I'm going to bring in the card base again and pop that ribbon on. Here we go. Now remember, this tree is still wet, so we have to be careful. I'll just tie a little knot up here. Cutting those little tails off. That just gives it a real bit of extra sparkle there. Now this is still wet, but I'm just going to take the backings off so we can get this card done. There we have it. This is such a sparkly card. You're going to end up with glitter everywhere, which is the fun of working with glitter, isn't it? I hope you've enjoyed this card. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you left me a comment. Head over to my blog for all the measurements and supplies, and if you're in need of any Stampin' Up supplies, I would so appreciate you ordering through my online store. It helps me to bring these great videos to you each week. Okay, until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.